I hope I get a jobby, Freddy. I got my fingers crossed.
Doing the job.
You got the job, buddy!
Doing the job.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan!
Doing the job.
Just say something, you idiot.
Doing the Joe podcast.
It's gotta be special.
I like it.
Doing the job.
Great job.
This show is so stupid.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
I know how to do the job. Shut the f*** up.
Hate this job.
Doing the job.
Doing the job.
Doing the job.
This is Doing the Job.
Top of the hour, coming at you, DTJ, Doing the Job. It's a wrestling podcast.
Wubba lub dub dub. Fucking Pickle Rick.
You're hearing the voice of Jenny Lugs. And along with me, M2J, we are your hosts.
What up, you cunts?
That's not nice.
It's just such a nice word. Has a lovely ring to it.
Yeah.
So much power and authority in that word.
I don't know about power or authority.
I don't know.
It's got a strong consonant or two.
Random adjectives, descriptive words. Sip for the working man.
Sip of water for the working man. I'm loaded up on Kratom tea right now, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. You know what I finally gave up? Like I just finally stopped. I can't say for life, you know. I've quit cigarettes for life, and I've been doing good with the energy drinks. I quit the energy drinks.
Oh, good. I'm proud of you.
It's almost like 2 months. I haven't had one, and I really was all about them, and I still love them dearly. I just can no longer, if I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be like, I don't need fucking, low carb and bread's the devil, and I don't drink soda and all that bullshit. I can't sit here, judge everybody's diet while I'm sipping on fucking death, Just straight poison for your body.
Well, you know what? I never knew before until like a couple of weeks ago that caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. So I stopped drinking caffeine now like around noon, like with the intention of going to bed around midnight. And
okay.
I sleep way better now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, sometimes I have coffee and I'm ready to go. Other times I could fall asleep with the cup in my hand still. So it's really like, it's a crapshoot. I don't really.
But
it doesn't matter.
But like I said, I'm on Kratom tea right now, so I'm feeling really nice.
What's Kratom tea? What kind of gimmick is this?
Kratom is some kind of opioid root that they make into a tea, and it makes you feel...
Oh, don't have that.
Why not?
Why are you doing that?
I don't know. You're a doctor. Google it later and tell me if it's going to kill me.
Doctor. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, you are. You're a doctor. Anyway, we could talk about tea and coffee all day long. You know I loves those topics, but we had a big fucking weekend of tons of fucking wrestling.
Yeah, let's wrestling. A lot.
I mean, I want to talk about NXT.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the main thing. Not only was it the first thing chronologically, it was the best thing.
Well, for you.
Most exciting thing.
For you.
For me.
Yeah, the first thing chronologically was Joey Janela's Lost in New York, which was the second best show of the week.
Oh, I meant chronologically of the things that matter.
Well, it absolutely matters.
Well, I mean, yeah, you went to that, right, I imagine, because that's not something you could just watch.
I was there. You can watch. I think it was either on Powerbomb or Fight. I forget which one, but it was accessible.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I got to see Joey Janela versus Hakushi.
Hakushi?
Yep.
You mean Jinsei Shinsaki, or did he go by Hakushi?
No, he went by Jinsei, but he was there. Also, the Sandman made an appearance. That was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Sabu wrestled the match.
Really?
Yep. And we also got introduced to a fellow named Marco. It was an open challenge from Kyle the Beast. Marco came out of the audience. He looks like he weighs about 100 pounds soaking wet.
I know where this is going.
And
I heard about this.
Okay. And it was great because, like, you're like, okay, this guy's, like, I mean, I think he's actually, like, in his early 20s, but he just, like, has a very youthful appearance to him. And,
yeah, young boy, really small guy.
And Kyle the Beast asked him, "Kid, how old are you even?" And Marco replied, "Old enough to fuck your mom," which was just a great response.
The greatest response ever.
And
that's the best.
And then they tore the house down. They had a great match, and I believe Marco was going to be either at Starcast or he's going to be involved at All In or something like that now.
All right, well, I will follow up with that as I watch the continuing show on Cody's YouTube called All Us. I watched that earlier today, and that's how I heard about this, because he mentioned some small little kid named Marco who, look, he said he was at Janela's gimmick, and he had a great showing. He tore the house down. He turned heads, was Cody's exact words. And he goes, why would I not want someone who turns heads? That's the whole point about this. And he's going to be there. He's going to be in the Battle Royal where the winner faces Jay Lethal. It's like a pre-show Battle Royal, I think. Or not a pre-show, but it's like, I think the first bit of All In's going to be on TV.
Oh, yeah, like the first hour of it or something.
It's on whatever Destination America, some shit like that, or whatever, some shit. And that's going to be early in the night and probably the opener. And the winner faces Jay Lethal later in the night for the ROH title. So, yeah, I don't think we're ever on the show. Well, but Jay Lethal's once again.
My man, Ethan Page, is going to be in that, and that's who I'm rooting for. I'm going there with an Ethan Page shirt.
Ethan Page is in that?
Yes.
All right, Ethan Page, yeah, I heard of him.
I fucking love Ethan Page. Actually, got to chat with him a little bit at All In.
All In didn't happen yet, so I don't know.
Lost in New York. Sorry, I'm on Kratom.
Yeah, so why are you drinking something with an opioid in it?
Because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, so does heroin, but
but that's like that'll kill you to death.
Kill you to death.
Yep.
Fucking computer! God damn it, man!
Hey,
holy Jesus!
As long as we can hear each other, you're good.
It's like a simple process. I don't understand. There you go. There we go. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. So you watched that show. Anything else standing out from that show?
It was Matt Riddle's. I don't know if it's his last indie appearance, but it was
absolutely.
Yeah,
it absolutely was, because he was on NXT the next night or the.
I mean, I don't know. He might have some bookings left. Sometimes they do that. Like
no, he's done.
He's completely done. All right,
he's done.
So check this out. Check that. You're gonna fucking love this story, Daddy.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I love stories.
Sitting behind me at NXT was a wrestling fan.
He was fat and smelly? Because usually you have so there was this guy at a wrestling show, and it's usually he's fat and smelly.
I will say this. I don't think he was smelly. Anyway, he was... I usually don't beef with people in the audience. It's just not my...
I do because
But he was chanting these things that were really fucking obnoxious, and he was getting on my nerves. And for example, Deonna...
That's the shit I can't stand. That's the stuff where I will start a fight with someone. It's like, stop that. That's unacceptable. No one wants to chant that. Just shut the fuck up.
So Deonna Purrazzo was wrestling, and he chants, "We want Marty." And I turned around and I'm like, stop it. What's the matter with you? That's just disrespectful. And,
no one's gonna chant that. No one can. It serves no purpose towards the show.
But he tried to make a few indie references throughout the show to to show everybody that he knows a lot about professional wrestling.
You just gotta shut those guys down, like we do all the time. Well, it's just we get it. You know things.
So here,
have people laugh at them, and then that's when they quiet up.
Well, so here's the thing. So between segments on NXT, I saw they had a camera crew with a light, and they were showing somebody how to helping somebody get to the front. To show them, and I could see the hat and the long hair. So I see it's Matt Riddle. And I'm like, I think that's Matt Riddle. And then when they came back, that was when they showed him. And we all jumped up and cheered. And a lot of people obviously in the arena knew who he was because it's the NXT crowd. And we all started chanting "bro." And this guy who's making all these little dumb indie references all night goes, "Who is that?" And it was just you're full of shit, buddy. You just
Listen, I don't claim to know everything, and I have seen a little bit of Matt Riddle. I've seen a couple matches, but I don't watch a whole lot of indie wrestling beyond the major things, which it's funny because it's they say the two big indie things is ROH and New Japan, and they're both in my eyes not technically indie companies whatsoever, but they just call everything that's not WWE indie, and it's they're both major corporations.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know who the fucking Matt Riddle is.
So that was funny. And then, do you know or follow Queen of the Ring on Instagram?
I believe you know the answer to that question.
I don't, but I
have no idea what that is.
I mean, yeah. When you say you have no idea what that is, you mean Instagram. But
no,
she posted that there was these two guys sitting behind her and they both had Bullet Club shirts on.
Is this a wrestler or is she just like a fan?
Yeah, it's like a super fan, like us.
All right.
Like everybody, kind of like, everybody in the New York wrestling community knows who she is. So she posts this picture it was like a selfie with these two guys with Bullet Club shirts behind her. And she asks them if they were going to watch or go to All In. And they went, what's that?
Oh God. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Right? It's just like, it's sad.
I know. It sucks. It sucks that, like, people make me not want to wear my Bullet Club shirt out places when it's like kind of, no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I had it super early, because if I was early and I would have fucking been in tune with the shit in like 2013 when it started and 2014 and all that shit and like Prince Devin and stuff, like I had seen shit, but I wasn't like super into it or following it. But like I remember kind of buying, I guess I probably got my first like Bullet Club shirt like right when it kind of started blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not gonna do the hipster like it was wearing it before it was cool. I definitely wasn't. I got one like right as it started being a thing,
right?
And and I was kind of wearing it before it was super everywhere, where it was popular enough, but now it's like super everywhere, and it's like I don't know. I find myself like not wanting to wear it to wrestling shows, but I wear it like kind of like anywhere else, like. If I'm going somewhere where like I'm out in a social situation where I'm probably not going to be around a whole lot of wrestling fans, because then it'll stand out more.
Yeah.
Instead of just like in a place with wrestling fans where everybody's like, that's the cool thing, I'm going to wear the shirt. Which, I don't know. It is the cool thing though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like the cool thing in the obnoxious way. Like oh, you like Bullet Club too? It's like, of course you like it. It's awesome. It's awesome guys doing awesome shit, and like being the elite is fucking awesome. And like being the elite is like, if my life was different and I became a fucking pro wrestler, like working like on anything, that would be like what I would want to do. With,
You'd
like,
be
my
aspiring
life.
to get picked up by them.
Well, no, I would be I would like be doing what they're doing with being the elite. Like I would like, because I love to record like the boys fucking around, bullshitting videos and edit them up and make little like funny little fucking thing. Like that's what I would be doing. Like, oh, how can we do our own little funny little angles and like make little videos and put them on YouTube? Like, that's what I admire them, because that's exactly what I would be doing if I was in their position.
Yeah,
like it's perfect.
I understand.
Yeah, so it's like that's why they're super awesome to me. Besides that, they seem like good brothers and they're great wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the matter at hand,
they seem like good brothers. Yeah, they are.
I mean, yeah, you never know. I mean, they're just never know who's not a good brother. They've shown enough good brothering for me to kind of like decide that they're good.
Well, have you seen all these things on social media? How like Cody Rhodes is like buying people that like they can't afford. Yeah. He seems like a sweetheart. I mean, he did buy us all pizza at La Boom one time.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
he's just like a fucking awesome dude. I mean, I've never heard anyone say like in this internet day and age and the podcasts and the YouTube and the videos and everything, like, who's a motherfucker. You hear about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one's ever said a bad word about the guy. So.
Nobody.
I mean, any of those guys, really, in terms of their character. I mean, you can have James E. Cornette all day, like, shit on fucking Kenny Omega for, wrestling a 9-year-old girl.
I love that you called him James E. Cornette, like this is 1993.
Well, do you not know who the fuck I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about. It's just like, you're just Jim Cornette these days, but it's just like, you went all the way back to like.
I'm doing the gimmick, brother. Calling him I mean, yeah, well, his name is James. It's his government fucking name.
I understand.
Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. NXT. Fucking, like, arguably the best, arguably the best one. I feel like I saw a list. I want to say it was either What Culture or Cultaholic. One of those guys. It was they listed the best all the best takeovers, and NOLA was still number one. And a lot of people say it's NOLA, and I don't know, it might be, but I feel like this one's better.
I feel like
maybe the Gargano match, the main event was better at NOLA, but this, like, the card was more solid a little bit.
I felt like the first 3 matches of this card were better than the last 2.
Okay.
And I don't know, just it had a really good flow to it, and I don't know, the last 2 matches, not that they were bad by any means, they just like I don't know, the Gargano Ciampa thing.
Let's talk about the main event, because I just want to say that I see a lot of not negativity on this match, like it's getting rated high, but it's just they're pointing out like everyone seems to have like these issues with the match. I love the match. I really like. Maybe it's the weakest of the 3 main events that they've done, but like it holds up just fine with the other 2, and it continues the story, and I love it.
We've had multiple no disqualification type matches with these guys now, and it's starting. That's getting tired. Like we didn't even have just like a basic 1-on-1 match with them. Like our start was the street fight, and like so it feels like we're having the same match over and over again, and that's getting kind of stale to me. And what I didn't like was this match sort of was just like a copy of the last match in a lot of ways, in that as far as story and progression wise, it wasn't like there was any real change. Like if the story here was that Gargano, let's say, got a hold of himself and didn't like decided that he was not out for blood, like he was gonna like come back to like his white meat baby facedom and just win the match and go out nobly and like just take the title away from Ciampa, but like they did that thing that he's consumed by rage again and it cost him the match, and it's like they already did that, so what was the point of this?
I guess you're right. Well, let's first of all take into account.
And I feel like, before you go, and I also feel like the only way this whole thing ends is Gargano ultimately will win this feud, because like Ciampa's just going to lose the title to someone else, like. So it's like
no. I mean, if you want to go there, I'm going to say that like you could still easily tell this story where maybe like if now we've had 2 times in a row where the rage has cost him in a way that he does something different. Maybe you see it kind of going down the same road the next time, and he does something different to where he makes the right choice, and then he beats Ciampa now, who's beat him twice, just barely, and wins the title. Because, I mean, if you're going to do this whole feud and just not give the title to Gargano for this, like, it's, I don't know.
Right.
That would be a mistake. What I'm saying is, first, let's keep in mind that, like, this was kind of, like, booked really on the fly almost, because it was supposed to be a triple threat, right? So that was kind of like would have been an easy way to just let them still continue their feud, but not let the spotlight be directly on their like personal, story, just the 2 of them. They could have the triple threat, and maybe Black could have been involved in the pin, and we could have like saved, this. Maybe like it just kind of feels like the wheels are turning because they have planned, the next time is the continuation or the finale or whatever. And this was kind of like, this really wasn't supposed to be. Because it's supposed to be with Aleister Black.
Well, also now I've heard that Gargano might actually be injured.
I think it's a work.
Okay.
I think it's kind of a work because we. So what happened in the match, right, is that like, and I thought the ending was pretty cool. It was a little ridiculous. I'll put it this way: the ending by itself, like in a bubble as a clip, is fucking awesome because he is handcuffed, which brings that back to the last match, and he slides. He ends up. He could have just beat him, but he needed to get one more fucking brutal shot in, so he does the knee. But of course, he goes too far with it. He hurts himself doing the knee by running into all the equipment and shit. Fucks up his knee so bad that Gargano can't stand up, but Ciampa could just slide down off the stage, and he's standing on his feet.
Which also was
kind of bullshit, right?
Well, it was also a nice. There was also a nice touch because theoretically, Ciampa could have just stayed down and it would have been a draw and he would have kept the title. Right. But just that added he stood up also. He wins.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could say, the whole idea of that's not really standing up. That's one thing, right?
Well, but, it was. Technically.
Right, technically. Okay, but, here's the thing, though. Here's the one thing I would have done differently about this whole match is that I love the match. I love the whole fucking match. It's great. That happened, 2 other times where he slid out of the ring and was on his feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have done that at all. I wouldn't have done that. I would have made you not even think that was a possibility to happen. I'm not going to say that I saw it coming, but as he was doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, he could just, oh yeah, there he goes. You know what I mean?
See, so I didn't really see it. And I just figured again, as long as Gargano is down for 10, that's it. That whatever happens, even if it's a draw, it doesn't. Gargano does not win. But then I just lost sight of his positioning, and when he just was just up, it was oh.
Yeah, he had done it I want to say more than once, but definitely I recall at least once where he was dead and then just kind of rolled out of the ring and then was on his feet to like at the 10 count, like when he was at 9. So I wish they hadn't have done that at all and just not make you think, like I said, not make you think that was a possibility. And then it was like, oh shit. So then you could still after that question like, can you really do that? Blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, Gargano couldn't get up.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, make it the controversial ending, or make.
Are you saying in kayfabe make that? Okay, I see.
No, kayfabe. I'm talking kayfabe. So I'm just saying, that'd be the only thing I'd do different because, like, him, like, showing that Gargano was beat up and he couldn't stand up, and he's standing there with holding the title. Great shot, great image, great storytelling. Still, I think we're getting worked with the injury because they said it during the show. They came out and the announcers were like, "Oh, they're saying he has a dislocated knee." Like, they were saying it then and there.
Oh, okay.
Like, you telling me a doctor came out and he made the diagnosis and it got back to the announcers just like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then Triple H on that, I listened to the whole, that early that morning, I listened to the conference call, which he's been doing now, like pre-show, like I think like the day before or a couple days, and like right after. So he did the media call or whatever, and he was like, and he's hurt, dislocated knee, whatever. I think it's a work. It's probably like a good way to maybe get him kind of like wait a little time and not rush into the next match with Gargano. Maybe the next, like the Survivor Series Takeover, Gargano beats somebody else, and then maybe that's when not Gargano, I'm sorry, when Ciampa beats somebody else, and then Gargano maybe shows back up at that point, like he's uninjured anymore, air quotes, and then at the maybe the Royal Rumble or the WrestleMania show is when he beats him for it or something like that. Like,
okay.
Just a way to drag it out a little bit. This is what I think is going on.
All right.
And this would be, if they end this off well in an epic way, I think this might just take the cake, man. Like over like Steen and Generico for like just my favorite feud of just like, because they're just these 3 matches. Like I haven't really, besides like Okada Omega.
Yeah, I mean it's the only it's like one of the only feuds I could think of right now that has any juice behind it.
Yeah. But I'm standing like these series of 3 matches against like any series of matches with any feud ever. Like I'm putting it up there.
Oh, I mean like you're like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, obviously like the best.
They wrestled once.
No, they wrestled a million times.
I'm talking about like, on a pay-per-view major feud, whatever.
Well, it was a different time. They didn't have as many pay-per-views back then. But like,
I know.
Remember they wrestled and Buster Douglas was the special ref?
No.
That's right. You've forgotten. A lot. Oh, speaking of WrestleMania 4 and things from many, many years ago, Robin Leach died today.
Oh shit! Get out of here.
Yeah. He was going to present the title to the new champion at WrestleMania 4, and Hulk Hogan did it instead because, Hogan.
Oh, so that was really just Hogan just doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He was supposed to do that.
God bless him.
What a cunt.
I hope one day I'm as successful as Hogan and I can just do whatever I want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, at the expense of everyone and everything else.
Yeah. Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain.
Jesus Christ.
Had a killer match. It was great.
Fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, I don't understand why we can't get a tag match like that on the main roster.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Fuck the main roster. We're done with that shit.
I mean, I'm not done with it. It's just like...
I mean, what else can I say about this match? Watch the match. It's a great match. Like...
It really was something special, man. It was just so, like, everything was just so smooth, so crisp.
There were so many times
impactful.
I thought, like, there was a sequence, and I'm like, okay, well, this match is over now. And then it was like, nope, we got another 5 minutes. And it was like, wow.
Yeah, there's the difference between, like, oh, that's the ending, and then it just goes on, and then it, like, kind of wears out its welcome, where it never did. It wasn't just,
right.
Like,
I mean, it wasn't
it escalated.
It wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, a very long match. It was 18 minutes, so it wasn't like it was like, a Triple H 38-minute match that should never happen. And I can't wait to complain about him. But
no, God, you know what? I will be the devil's advocate on that because
you're gonna be the devil's advocate on Triple H.
Yeah, because it's really I don't really have an issue with.
I mean, the dude's on fucking TV acting like he hasn't wrestled a match like in 8 years.
Okay, well, all right, hold on. hold on. The rest of Takeover. Fucking. You said you weren't feeling the women's match that much. It was a decent story. I like Kairi Sane. I'm not a big fan of Baszler, but the match was still good.
Well, you just skipped over 2 matches.
I know. Well, I'm bouncing around.
Okay. No, wasn't that I wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I didn't feel like it had a lot behind it. It just was kind of like we've arrived at this match.
Yeah.
I thought Baszler had this, and I was really shocked that because everybody seemed to think because they're doing the Mae Young Classic too that they want to show that the woman that won the Mae Young Classic is now the champion, and I thought of it the other way, that it was Shayna Baszler exercising that demon that she could defend her title successfully against Kairi Sane, even though they apparently had a match on NXT TV at some point, like a throwaway. And Shayna Baszler won that, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that takes that."
So we don't need to do that.
So Velveteen Dream and EC3,
just standard, decent, solid match.
For some reason, I really liked this match, and it was well received in the audience, so live. So I don't know. Everybody watched it on TV doesn't seem to have the same opinion of it, and I had a lot of fun with this match. And I just the thing I'm confused about is I thought that both of these guys were heels. But
yeah, they kind of are.
But then I also thought that both these guys are heels, but Velveteen is kind of on the precipice of being babyface.
Because he's so over.
But apparently, what I'm hearing is that EC3 is supposed to be a babyface.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess he is supposed to be a babyface. Where it's he shouldn't be.
But yeah, the crowd was solidly behind Velveteen. It wasn't even
100%.
Yeah. What do you think of his tights? The call me up Vince thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
There was
apparently nobody knew. He just did that.
I've heard that could be bullshit.
But
yeah, they for some reason the TVs the displays in the Barclays Center wasn't showing this match, so we actually didn't know what his tights said until they finally put this. At some point you hear the crowd chant turn the screen on or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit.
So that was going on.
A little bit discombobulating, but
yeah.
All right. So, did you think Ricochet and Adam Cole was match of the night?
No, I actually like the main event and the tag match more, but that doesn't mean I dislike this match. The match was great.
This match was fantastic.
Match was great. And I'm not big on Ricochet, but he, there wasn't flippity doos for the sake of everything.
Anybody that's criticized him
solid.
Anybody that has criticized him in the past of being Mr. Flippy shit has to put that to bed now because he doesn't do that in WWE.
No, yeah. Although I do roll my eyes with the. I mean, I could justify it though, but I do roll my eyes where he kind of he does the Tajiri handspring and then backflips and then lands in the pose, but in defense of it. It wasn't I hate it when he had a million matches with Ospreay and they both would do it and just stand there and it was kind of cool the one time, but then they did it 50 more times. Mm-hmm. And it kind of it makes no sense. You wouldn't do that if you're trying to fight someone, but Cole went out to the outside and he did that to taunt him. So that was okay, well that makes sense. You would do hey, look how fucking awesome I am. Fuck you, get back in the ring. That I get it,
Now, the spot that everybody keeps talking about in this match
Jesus Christ.
was the mid moonsault that Adam Cole kicked him. Super kicked him.
And it took me a million tries, but I finally, off my phone while watching it, got a screen cap of, him landing it right as he's completely, vertical, upside down.
Yeah.
I got the screen cap. Looks great. I should put it in the group. But, that's, just a testament to the story they were telling. Because right before that, he went for a springboard, and it was a matter of kind of Cole having him scouted, but Ricochet also kind of anticipating him scouting him because he did the springboard, Cole went the super kick, but he caught the kick and then kind of reversed that and then went for the moonsault, but then Cole got him the next time, and it was just
I thought
smart sequence.
These guys had good chemistry.
It worked out really well, and the ending was dope too. Because Cole, once again, when he taunted him, Cole was fucking taking a powder, but he was still on the apron. And then Ricochet, this is when it makes sense to do the super flashy shit, because that was the story of it. It was kind of Cole's well, I took a powder, what are you going to do? And he was well, I have the fucking ability to run, leap over the rope, snatch you with a fucking Hurricane Rana, throw you back in, and then hit my finish on you, and that's exactly how he won.
And I could hit my finish on you.
And I can hit my finish.
Not finish you. Hit my finish on you.
Do you have a problem with how I said that?
It's just funny. Like
a little bit, yeah. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? It was kind of like I wasn't just like, oh wow, cool move. It was I'm sitting there like, oh, this is just making sense, like, wow.
Yeah.
It was just It was like just one of those matches where it just it had the flashiness, but it also told the story, and it was like the right mix of both with two good wrestlers. And I always like kind of gave Ricochet the business. I never said he was the shits. I just wasn't like he didn't really like do it for me. But now I'm kind of like, okay, you're doing it, so you're doing it.
So that was NXT Takeover.
Trying not to be a curmudgeon.
I appreciate that. I just posted, by the way, in our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/doingthejob, a picture of the Sandman hitting Stokely Hathaway with the Singapore cane. And it's a picture that I took, my camera, and my super awesome photo skills. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're just so awesome.
I'm pretty awesome.
All right, so SummerSlam. So this show is awesome. It's just like every takeover. It's fucking awesome. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. Look at that.
Yeah,
he broke that motherfucker right over his head too.
He did. Yeah, I got a lot of good shots from this show. I've been posting them on Twitter. Twitter.com/M2J. Everybody.
It looks like Sandman's wearing an SCU shirt.
I know. I'm guessing the Sandman is in recovery because he didn't drink any of the beers. He just poured them in the audience members' mouths. So.
Yeah, he's getting old. You got to take it easy. You got to watch the carbs too, the calories and the carbs.
Yeah,
you can't just be slinging beers all the time.
Yeah, for 20 years.
So, I mean, SummerSlam it was okay.
Yeah. There's just a lot of weird
things.
Weird booking, weird pacing,
weird stuff.
Yeah.
It's just too fucking long.
It is too long. Hindsight being 2020. Also, there was a lot of weird decisions made, or decisions that probably could have been made better.
Like what?
All right, so the pre-show, CN and Vega versus Lana and Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
So Vega and CN won, and then 2 days later on SmackDown, they had the same match again, and Rusev and Lana won.
Yes, I mean, like I don't really care. Yeah. I don't know why we're talking about it. It means nothing.
I'm just saying, like shit like that. I mean, it was there. I was there for it, so I'm talking about it.
Yeah, it just means nothing. So
Cedric the Alexander and Drew Gulak, or Gulak rather. I really thought Drew had this. It seemed like it was the right time, but Cedric won, and he won with a roll up. Actually, I think all three matches on the pre-show ended in roll ups.
Jesus Christ!
So that shit like that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't watch the pre-show.
I thought for sure the B team was dropping the titles. They didn't. I didn't know they had new music, and I don't like their new music. Especially juxtaposed to their prior music. However, I get it because it's a chant that people could do, and they have been doing it. So,
yeah, it's a thing. You got to have things. I mean, the whole thing is, I don't know what to say. If it's working, so God bless.
Yeah. So the Intercontinental Championship match,
match of the night,
opened the show. Yeah, yes.
First match out the gate, match of the night,
which we knew it would be. It was the hot opener, and it ended up being the best match of the night.
Yeah.
And I say on the show last week that Dean Ambrose is definitely not turning heel at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I said he would. I think you said he wouldn't. So good on you.
Yeah.
Because obviously, on Monday night we had the Shield.
Yeah. Which, by the way. So,
Shield again.
So let's quickly digress for a second. Two things I want to ask you.
Yeah.
When ultimately in the night, which we could just jump on this right now, Charlotte Flair ended up winning that triple threat match, and after the match, Becky attacked her and brutally beat the shit out of her to a rabid ovation from the crowd. The crowd was.
Can I make a little side note about that moment?
Sure.
They recorded the decibel levels. This was in fucking Forbes. Put this on their website.
Okay.
For the loudest pops of the weekend, I guess not including NXT because it just talked about the main roster shows. Of the 3 shows for the main roster, number 1, as in loudest pop decibel level, was Becky turning on Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, no, the crowd was so happy
top
about
of the weekend. Not counting
Right.
NXT. So I don't know what that measured up to.
Yeah. So the two things that I heard fans saying since then was that they didn't think this was Becky Lynch turning heel so much that she just beat up Charlotte Flair. And I was like, it was clearly a heel turn. Like, there's no, like,
even though SmackDown, she came out and cut a heel promo on the crowd, she turned heel.
Now, here's what's funny about that: on the YouTube version of that promo, they cut out all of the stuff where she's insulting the fans.
Wow.
They just keep it to she's mad at Charlotte Flair and made it all about Charlotte Flair. So, do you think they're throttling back on this one?
I think they gotta. I think because she is clearly favored in this scenario. So it's really gonna be, you're gonna be like kind of traveling against the grain here if you're just gonna, much like a lot of the other things they try to push, if you're just gonna have her be like this piece of shit heel and beating up Charlotte Flair if everyone's on the side of Becky, like, yeah, we're tired of Charlotte Flair, awesome, and we love Becky and we want Becky. So
yeah.
I'm not saying make Charlotte Flair a big old heel. You just have like these two women, they have an issue, and just that's it, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe make the roles a little bit more clear defined when you figure out where you want to go. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was a thing. I just wanted, and then the other thing I was hearing is people are taking Monday night the Shield attacking Braun Strowman was the Shield turning heel.
No.
Right.
No, that is not a heel turn. They didn't do anything heelish.
Right. I mean, if you want to say that they ganged up on somebody 3-on-1, I guess there's an argument to be made, but like that in no means just that's it, they're heels now.
No, this is just a clear, once again, the Becky thing was supposed to be a heel turn, right? And now maybe, like you said, with the edits they did to the YouTube video, it's like, all right, maybe they're like trying to make it a little bit more gray because of the fan response. But this was clearly like, you know, well, first of all, the Shield was supposed to be still going on. I don't know about still going on now, but like it was a thing when Dean got hurt. So they're kind of just trying to
right,
just kickstart that back up again where they left off, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have Roman as the champ, and what a better idea than, you know, like Strowman kind of did, and we'll get to the main event of SummerSlam definitely before I have to leave, but you know, Strowman once again came out and was just like, yeah, I'm still going to cash in my shit, and if you're going to have the Shield, why wouldn't they protect?
Well, and that's the other thing now. I'm also wondering, well, you know, let's go right to the main event right now. We'll backtrack everything. So they did this thing. Braun Strowman came out. He retained his briefcase in a squash match against Kevin Owens, by the way. Kevin Owens got 0
unfortunately,
offense. He came out and he said, he's like, I'm not going to sneak up on anybody. I'm going to tell you when I'm cashing in. Whoever wins this match, I'm going to cash in right now. Which, why didn't he just add himself to the match?
Exactly.
That was weird.
If you're the big baby face, now, like, I'm not going to do this thing sneaky. Then
listen. Now, my devil's advocate on this is, okay, he could technically say, I had a match already, so it's only fair that you guys have a match, and then, you know, this will be both of our second matches of the evening.
Look, it's not a... You can still be a babyface and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to do it honorably. I'm not going to sneak up, but I also want to take advantage of the situation a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys finish your shit, and then I'm coming in, you know?
So it's cool. But,
totally
knowing that the crowd was obviously going to shit all over this match, it was a total smokescreen. They introduced this, and the crowd all of a sudden was like, okay, we just got to get through this match, and then we have, like, a main event title match to look forward to with Braun Strowman.
And it went 6 minutes.
And we all behaved ourselves, waiting for this match 10 to get to the next match. And as soon as Braun took that first bump, like when I think Roman Reigns like dove out of the ring and nailed him or something like that, I was like, oh my God, is he not going to be able to cash in for some stupid reason? And like we're all getting bamboozled here into just not chanting like anything through this match, like that this show's just going to end. And oh my God, we had a shitty 6-minute match. For some reason, all it took was like one quick spear, and Roman Reigns was able to pin Brock Lesnar, who's been unbeatable for like 4 years. And they put up the copyright thing and went off. That was it.
Yeah, well, not Goldberg beat him, you know, but
you know what I mean, though. Like that was like
Right, yeah, it came and went, whatever. It's funny how WrestleMania 33 could be a 4-minute, 45-second match that was fucking incredible. And this match was 6 minutes, and it just wasn't. Listen, I really did not like this whole entire scenario because it was so obvious what they were doing. I mean, fucking smart on them.
Well, that was the other thing.
Genius on them,
so
really.
I was looking at a Facebook thread about this match, and somebody said something to that effect, which, I do somewhat agree with. This was genius. They tricked the audience. And then someone replied, yeah, it's pretty remarkable that instead of just booking something correctly, they instead trick the audience.
Well, not about correctly. It's just like... It's kind of like Jordan. Like, he came at me with, like, oh, this fucking brilliant genius, the trolling, it was hilarious, yada, yada. It's like, yeah, that's fine, but, like, I'd rather just do something that's actually awesome. You don't have to trick and fucking fool people to not, like, shit on something. Like, why couldn't Brock and Roman have done just like WrestleMania 33? 5 minutes of bing, bang, boom, not a million finishers, but, like, legit back and forth like the way Goldberg and Brock did, where it was like they just hit each other with bombs back and forth and it was exciting for 5 minutes, not even, and Roman wins clean. Because now look at Brock. If this is truly it and he's done or he's gone, at least for a while, I don't know, he didn't really lose clean because he was throwing the briefcase, he was fucking around with Strowman, he turns around, boom, spear.
But it just was weird, like, spear 1 of 3, that's it. Like, there was no, like, fail. Like, how great would it have been if, like, I don't know, just tell some kind of story, like, just have him just, like, whatever do the thing where everything he does, he can't beat Roman, and then he like, starts freaking out, and Paul, and, like, just think about first of all, if this was your plan all along, that Roman Reigns was going to win at SummerSlam, why didn't he just win at WrestleMania or Saudi Arabia? Like, why did we drag, like, what value did we get for, like, another 4 months of the Brock Lesnar title reign?
No reason, really, man. And in my eyes, nothing.
And teasing and doing all this shit with Paul Heyman, like, pretending that he was going to align himself with Roman. It's like, what was the point? Like, that didn't do anything. And like, we already talked about how they just fucked that up last week, but, like, it's just all meaningless.
I think straight up he was just supposed to win at WrestleMania, and they got the idea in their heads, probably the pettiness about the CM Punk reign, where it's not even the same fucking title, really, right? But they could still say, like, world title level title, now he has...
No, they can't.
You know how they like to fucking...
Yeah, but they can't. They can't. We know they can't. That's it.
I know, yeah. But, like, they like to, with all their stats, like, the ridiculous...
Because when the rosters remerge one day and those titles merge back together, no one will remember the fucking Universal title. A fucking fruit roll up with some plates on it.
It's really not that bad. I don't know why.
I'm just sick of it.
It's the same exact. The WWE title's the same thing, where it's fucking red.
The WWE title is far superior.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's like night and day.
It's the same thing. It's just red.
Nah, it's different.
That's all it is.
Nah, different title.
Anyway. I mean, if you ask me, they both can fuck off. I miss big gold. I miss, like, better looking shit.
I do too.
I miss a belt that, wasn't just a big logo with... How do you have a title belt with, like, actual space in it where you just see, like, the letter?
You have negative space in your fucking
title. Yeah, you have
title.
negative space on it. Like, that's a prize?
Yeah.
Like, fuck out of here. It's supposed to look like a trophy.
Yeah,
like put onto a belt that you can wear.
Like, look at the IWGP Championship
fucking
title.
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Big, it's gold, it's got jewels on it. Has fucking jewels on it,
jewels,
man.
Betty.
Fucking, I got your jewels. I got your bag of jewels. It's fucking.
You remember the Jeff Hardy title in TNA?
Ugly as fuck.
That was better than the current WWE title.
I draw the line there.
No,
I'd rather have the Universal title on my shoulder than fucking that Jeff Hardy title. Even though I like the color purple, but, like, God, that shit was so ugly, so ugly. Like, I draw my little masks.
I liked it. It looked like the thing in the Strong Bad thing where everything goes, your head explode. It looked like that.
Your head explode?
Yeah.
Well, you're fucked in the head.
All right. So anyway, we have Roman Reigns is the new Universal Champion, and the crowd
just a fucking waste of time.
And I mean,
look, this whole, like, this angle is like him and Brock from Mania till now. It's just served nothing. I'm just gonna, like, Raw is blackout until now. Roman should have just been the champion for a while now anyway. So now I'm just going to, like, try to forget about all that and just move forward from here.
Oh, wait. I forgot. Sean wanted us to relay a message about this situation here. Remember he messaged us earlier in the evening.
Yeah.
He said he jumped off his couch in excitement. His black shorts became white.
Mm-hmm.
As in semen. They got covered in semen.
Yeah, he did.
Semen from him ejaculating because he was so happy with
yes. Look, I don't have much time, but I do want to say about the Shield. It's kind of like, do you think it's a good idea to like do this again? Just keep doing the Shield.
I mean, I guess there's no reason not to. It's just like, I don't know, like, what do you like? What's the end game of this? Is it just that Dean Ambrose is eventually going to turn heel?
I don't know. I mean, I'm at least intrigued for what's going to happen next week with him and Strowman. Like, how do you deal with that? You know?
Yeah.
What's the deal with this? But we got to kind of squeeze. I could probably go a little bit later, but I got to squeeze in a lot of other info. Fuck Daniel Bryan, right? I'm really upset that the crowd was like kind of dead for this, and if they were a little dead for this, they were fucking died a death for Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. The match was like the worst match. Let
me tell you what this was. So we were far into the event at this point, and we're exhausted.
So long.
We don't have a lot of energy left. We were invested in the match. Like everybody was there. Everybody watched the match. Everybody was into it. It's just like it was that combination of like leaning. Everybody was leaning in, enjoying the match, but also tired from. At this point, we were already there for like how long? It was probably like 4 or 5 hours into the show.
Yeah.
It was exhausting. That's an exhausting period to be in. And I was fully convinced that The Miz was going to win. So much so that I wore my Miz shirt to SummerSlam.
Nice. Well, as I was saying, I was talking to someone at the time that it was on live, or at least when I was watching it back, that's match with the 3 pre-shows, that was match 9 of the night. Yeah. So, you know, it was a 6 match on the main show, but there was 3 before that. So now you're watching the 9th match when it's like typically at a show like that's the main event or it was already done, you know, like a normal fucking show.
You know what bothers me too is that the pre-show, which is usually like 2 hours, has like 3 matches in it, and they're scattered. It's like there's like a match at like the first 15 minutes of the pre-show, then the next one is until like the top of the hour, and then like right before the show starts when we get like that last one. It's just like that's like ridiculous. Like it's spaced out so I hate it. And I always tell people, like, can we just not go to the pre-show? And they're like, well, there's this one match I want to see, and we don't know when it's going to happen.
I never want to go for the pre-show. Like, I mean,
never do either.
Mania, only Mania. But it's funny because that's, like, the only really WWE show I go to every year. But, like, I do, I guess, for Mania because it's kind of like I'm here in this other... Like, if I was going to a New York show, I wouldn't go to the pre-show.
Right. Like, I
was at the Barclays, because I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll get there when I get to whatever. But like, if at Mania, I'm in the city. It's like, what else am I doing?
Right.
You know I might as well be in the show.
I skipped the pre-show at this WrestleMania. I was at a bar with Michael Payne, and I was like, I'll just go when the fucking show starts.
Yeah, sick invite, bro.
I think you were invited. You didn't want to come.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I told you what bar it was at, and you just were like, I'm going to WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to watch the fucking stupid fucking battle royal.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen Cedric because I've seen him at La Boom, and just seeing him in like the Superdome would be like a really cool like juxtaposition. But
yeah, I've seen him in a shitty fucking convention center in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
the ROH show the night before Royal Rumble 2014. And he had a dope... That was when he first kind of, like, turned my head. He had a dope match with... Who the fuck did he have that match with?
How much does he weigh? Could he, like, put on a couple pounds and just be, like a heavyweight?
Well, he used to be big. He really leaned up big time.
Just eat, like... eat a little bit more, man. Just
can't get up. I could get up, and I don't know who it was against, but he was still big at the time.
Yeah.
And it was... he really did some shit. It was a dope fucking match.
Oh, wait. He's billed at 205 pounds. He's, like, on the cusp.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so the Bryan match is really good. I'm not really good, but it was just a solid match, and then the ending was...
I thought it was great. Like with the Miz doing the kicks and like Bryan being like, those don't hurt. You're an asshole.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
and I liked the ending because it was very like the story, of course,
which is exactly what I predicted last week.
He wanted Forever to be cleared so he could punch the Miz in the face.
Yeah,
and then the Miz wins by cheating, by hitting him by punching him in the face. It actually took me like a day or two for that to hit me. I was just like, oh wait, he won by punching him in the face. The thing that Bryan wanted to do was perfect.
Yes.
Genius. It was genius. And now we're gonna have like the mixed tag with the wives at the next pay-per-view and keep it rolling. Good storyline.
Yeah.
And same thing with AJ and Joe. Like, people complaining like, oh, these bunch of DQs. I'm like, listen, that was good for a first match. The match was solid. The crowd was still kind of alive. And it was good. I'll be your fucking daddy. And he snaps, beat the shit out of him. And even the kid saying, daddy, you're bleeding, was all good. It all worked out well.
That was amazing, yeah.
Excited for the next match. It was well done. I've seen some complaints about it, but it's just like, shut up. Just
wait. So we skipped over. The New Day had the match with the Bludgeon Brothers. And again, this is one of those things, I'm guessing this is because Eric Rowan got injured, but the 2 days later, they had a no DQ match, and the New Day won the titles.
Yeah,
so
Rowan's injured. He's out again.
And so this combined with like the WWE Championship match ending with the disqualification, it just was like, okay, that was a waste of time. And then, the few squash matches although speaking of the squash matches, so I had this sudden epiphany that we were getting the Demon Finn Balor. A little bit before the show, I was like, oh my God, like they're gonna. And while it made sense for the story, I was like, this seems like a waste to just throw the Demon at Baron Corbin like this. And but it you know what? Once it
okay.
actually happened, I really enjoyed it, so I can't really complain about it in good conscience. Like, I did enjoy it. It does. I just hope that isn't like, okay, now we won't see the Demon for like a year, and it's like this was.
Well, it's a waste to not have him like start a feud with someone where he's just getting the shit beat out of him, and then he's like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna bring him back, and then you build that excitement. Well, see, you do that whole angle, but
no, you see, this is exactly what I was saying last year. That I like that they did a surprise. I like that the heel is standing in the ring freaking the fuck out. Like they did.
I can't complain.
They did exactly what I wanted them to do with Bray, but with Baron Corbin.
Yeah. It's I can't complain. So because it was just like, all right, he's back, and then he got thrust right into the main event against Roman Reigns the next night. So okay, maybe this is just kind of like, I have the power to just squash people, and I'm important again. So we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Now,
and Ronda winning, what else can I say?
Well, so what you were saying before about the Shinsuke Jeff Hardy match, I don't think anybody thought Jeff Hardy was going to win, and that match basically served as the piss break because we knew that we had the women's championship and then the championship after that, so we didn't want to, it was like that was the piss break, really.
Yeah, it's a shame.
That was,
I don't know.
That was the death spot that usually is the second to last match.
I hope Shinsuke, whenever this run. Before this run ends, because he's starting to get up there in his career. I just hope he can really, have some good matches. He hasn't really had any memorable matches on the main roster at all.
He hasn't really. Well, hopefully he'll get a match with Daniel Bryan, who wanted to have a match with him.
Yeah, they had a dark one. It's on YouTube. You can find it.
Yeah. No, you know the story, right? When he was the Intercontinental Champion, he pitched the idea that Shinsuke, who at the time was the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, that they would have an interpromotional match.
Well, actually, we just found out that Jericho pitched that for SummerSlam.
He did,
for Seth Rollins.
Yeah. But
so,
as Mr. Draco would say, that's awesome. So it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that New Japan's going to be running the Garden, I don't know if Vince is going to want to be doing business with them.
No.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
And Ronda wins. She's the champ now. She beat up Stephanie again just to show that, hey, I'm still going to fucking beat you up. And there's really nothing else to say about that. Hopefully she's there more often than Brock was. So
hopefully, yeah.
She made a point to say that on Raw. I'm not Brock Lesnar. I'm going to be here.
And people were like, oh, my God, you're not. And then they realized that she's not Brock Lesnar. And see, everybody's been seeing her as Brock Lesnar the whole time.
I know, but didn't realize that she's a female.
And then they snapped her out of the spell. And now it's like, oh, you're Ronda Rousey. She's like, yep, I was in the Entourage movie.
So just too fucking long.
Yeah,
too long, and there's some good things buried in there. But
I for one am happy that SummerSlam isn't going to be back here next year because I don't want to go.
Yeah, I went to. I didn't go in 2015. I went to like NXT and Raw. And then in 2016, I went, and that was that fucking god-awful Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton main event.
I actually sold my...
I don't want to go here.
We sold the Raw tickets. We ended up leftover SmackDown tickets, so I actually went to SmackDown but
Yeah,
didn't
so
go to
you're
Raw.
really trying hard to sell the SmackDown. I don't know why you bought both of those.
Well, we got the bundle. We got the 4 days.
Oh, I was going to
package.
say, because like I could not do 4 days.
Yeah.
Like,
because those went on sale first, and we decided, like, you know, if we want to secure decent seats, we got to, like, buy the first tickets to come available. Then we just said, all right, so we'll go. We know we're going to NXT and SummerSlam. We'll just try to sell the Raw and SmackDown tickets. The worst case scenario is we go to Raw or SmackDown.
yeah.
So
I wouldn't want to go to fucking Brooklyn 4 days in a row, let alone the Barclays Center.
Yeah,
4
no,
days in
it's a quick ride, so it's not that bad.
I mean, I just don't want to be physically in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, SmackDown is just like I'd say a quarter of the crowd that shows up for the other events is at SmackDown, and they don't even have the merch truck outside for SmackDown like they do for the other three.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
like it's just like they just don't care, and like and then as soon as fucking the show ends and 205 Live starts, like another third of the crowd just leaves.
Jesus.
And then they trick you again. They go because the way that they get a lot of people to stay is that they have like a dark main event. That's like a SmackDown main event, so they'll say like
So they'll try to announce it.
So well, yeah, they'll announce it during a commercial break. So what they did was it was going to be Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan was the main event of the evening, and I was like, well, that's going to be a fucking awesome match. So that's a cool thing to see. So the match was about 30 seconds. It ended in a DQ, and
Oh my God.
and then the Miz came out and him and Samoa Joe double teamed Daniel Bryan, and then AJ made the save, and they just kind of had like a brawl for like a good minute or two, and then that was the end of it, the night. And it was like, okay, so like people that actually like didn't want to see 205 Live and waited for this ended up like missing, you know, they could have just left and like they got tricked into staying.
Yeah, I'm never fucking gonna. I never want to go to TV. I'm
kind of in the same boat as you. I mean, I still.
Are you finally coming with me?
I'll still go to like a Raw after WrestleMania. Those are still
like, all right, Raw after WrestleMania would be the only thing I'd do, even though I still don't want to do that. But I would only do that if I'm going to WrestleMania, wherever it is, with a group of people, and everyone else is on board. Like, we want to stay Monday night, and we want to go to Raw after Mania. And I'd be like, all right, if that's what we're doing, then I'm doing it. But if, like, luckily for me, the last like bunch of times, I think I went in 2016 because everyone wanted to go because I was with Sean and Danielle and they wanted to go. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever, I'll go. But Orlando, thankfully, no one wanted to fucking go. And New Orleans, like, no one gave a shit. So I was just like, cool. Thank God.
NXT, definitely worth it. Whatever the pay-per-view is that weekend, I'll go to. I don't want to go to the pre-show, but I'll go to the show. And
because like I think Raw is just awful as it is anyway. So like, why would I ever want to sit there? Like, I barely watch Raw. I skim through it.
oh damn, people! And I finally got the stream working. People are saying they can't hear us. God damn it! All right.
Well, I mean, I have to go to work.
All right, we pretty much ran through everything we need to run through. I mean, I guess we didn't really get to too much Raw and SmackDown, but who the hell cares? Raw's the same show every week. Ha ha ha. Anyway, you've been listening to the Doing the Job Wrestling podcast. If you like what you heard, check us out, dtjwrestling.com. You could hear us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. We are on iTunes, Google Play, pretty much everywhere you can get a podcast, you could find us. If you want to throw me an email, it's m2j@dtjwrestling.com. Get very few and far between of those. So if you want to let your voice be heard, it's more than welcome. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/doingthejob. We stream live on Facebook, not like our faces, but our voices, every week. So, well, I don't know why I'm saying every week. It's actually every month now. If you missed last week's show, we actually recently moved to pretty much a monthly format. We're not doing the show every week anymore. Our lives are just too busy, and it's hard enough to find time to sit down for several hours and talk about wrestling, and that also insists in that case that we watch said wrestling, which basically just becomes a part-time job at that point, and Lord knows we ain't making any money off of this, so just not gonna happen. So yeah, keep subscribed, keep checking our Facebook for any updates to keep abreast of our situations when we're doing a show. We're probably going to do one before and after WWE pay-per-views, since that's what garners the most attention. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. For Sean Michael Spurge and Denny Luggs, I'm M2J saying, we don't do the job. We are the job. Good night, folks.